Most people live their entire lives trapped inside an invisible prison. Not one made of bars or walls, but one constructed entirely in their minds. These mental barriers feel real. They feel permanent. But here's the truth nobody wants to tell you. Every single limit you think you have was learned. And what was learned can be unlearned. Today, I'm unveiling 7 mindset shifts that will shatter the mental chains holding you back. These aren't feel-good platitudes. These are psychological frameworks used by the most successful people throughout history. By the end of this video, you'll see exactly where your invisible prison walls are, and more importantly, how to walk right through them. Let's lift the veil. The ancient Stoics understood something modern psychology is only now confirming. Your thoughts create your reality. Not in some mystical sense, but in a very practical one. The way you interpret events, the beliefs you hold about yourself, the stories you tell in your head, these shape every action you take and every result you get. Most people never question these mental patterns. They accept them as truth. But the moment you shift your mindset, everything changes. Not someday, immediately. Here are the 7 shifts that will destroy your limits. The first shift is deceptively simple, but devastatingly powerful. Stop saying, I can't, and start saying, I haven't yet. This isn't just positive thinking. This is neuroplasticity in action. When you say, I can't do public speaking, your brain accepts that as permanent fact and stops looking for solutions. But when you say, I haven't mastered public speaking yet, you've just opened a door. That single word, yet, transforms a fixed statement into a growth trajectory. Carol Dweck's research at Stanford proved this. Students who adopted not yet thinking showed measurably different brain activity when facing challenges. Their neurons literally fired differently, seeking pathways to solutions instead of accepting defeat. Think about something you've always said you can't do. Maybe it's starting a business, learning a language, getting in shape. Now add yet to the end. Feel that shift? That's your brain opening new neural pathways. That's the prison door unlocking. Here's what's interesting. This language shift doesn't just change how you think. It changes how others perceive you, which leads us directly to shift number 2. Your brain has one primary job. Keep you alive. Not happy. Not successful. Alive. And for 200,000 years, staying alive meant staying safe, which meant avoiding discomfort at all costs. But here's the problem. Everything you want is on the other side of discomfort. That job interview that terrifies you. That business you're afraid to start. That conversation you keep avoiding. Your brain screams danger, but it's lying to you. The Stoics practiced something called voluntary hardship. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in Rome, would sleep on the floor and fast regularly. Why? To train his mind that discomfort isn't death. It's just discomfort. Start small. Take cold showers for 30 days. Not because it's healthy, though it is, but because every morning you'll prove to yourself that you can do hard things. You're literally rewiring the neural pathways that equate discomfort with danger. When you shift from comfort-seeking to growth-seeking, you unlock a level of potential most people never access. Your comfort zone becomes a prison. Growth becomes freedom. Here's a brutal truth. If you need other people's approval to take action, you've given them control over your life. Most people are trapped in what psychologists call the approval addiction. They make decisions based on what others will think. They stay in jobs they hate because it looks good. They avoid risks because failure would be embarrassing. They're not living their life, they're performing for an audience that isn't even paying attention. Epictetus, who went from slave to one of history's greatest philosophers, taught this. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. The people whose opinions you're worried about. They're too busy worrying about what others think of them to actually judge you. Everyone's the star of their own movie. You're just an extra in theirs. Set your own standards. Define what success means to you, not what Instagram says it should mean. Then measure yourself only against that internal scorecard. This single shift will free you from more mental prison walls than anything else on this list. Write down 3 things you've been avoiding because you're worried about judgment. Now ask yourself, in 5 years, will you regret not doing them? That's your answer. But even internal standards won't save you if you're making the mistake in shift number 4. You cannot control outcomes. You can only control actions. Yet most people obsess over results they can't control and ignore the processes they can. You can't control whether you get the job, but you can control how well you prepare for the interview. You can't control whether your video goes viral, but you can control the quality of content you create. You can't control whether someone loves you back, but you can control how you show up in relationships. The Stoics called this the dichotomy of control. Separate what you control from what you don't. Then pour 100% of your energy into what you control and accept everything else with indifference. Think about an athlete before a championship game. They can't control the referee's calls. They can't control if their opponent has the best game of their life. They can't control the weather, but they can control their preparation, their effort, their attitude, and their execution. When you shift from outcome obsession to process focus, you eliminate 90% of your anxiety. Because anxiety comes from trying to control things you can't control. For the next week, every time you feel stressed, ask, is this something I can control? If yes, take action. If no, let it go. Watch how much mental energy you reclaim. This is the shift that separates those who transform their lives from those who stay stuck forever. Victims ask, why is this happening to me? Creators ask, what can I do about this? Victims blame circumstances, other people, bad luck. Creators take radical responsibility for everything in their lives, even things that aren't their fault. Here's the key distinction. Fault and responsibility are not the same thing. It's not your fault if you were dealt a bad hand. But it is your responsibility to play it well. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Every complaint is a confession of powerlessness. Every time you blame external factors, you're admitting you have no control. But the moment you take responsibility, even for things that aren't your fault, you reclaim your power. For 24 hours, ban these phrases, it's not fair, they made me, I had no choice. Replace them with, what's my next move? Watch how quickly your life changes when you stop being a victim of circumstances and start being the creator of solutions. I'm just not a morning person. I'm not good with money. I'm shy. I'm not creative. Every time you say, I am, you're casting a spell on yourself. You're not describing reality. You're creating it. Your identity is not fixed. It's a story you tell yourself, and stories can be rewritten. The person you were 5 years ago isn't the person you are today. And the person you are today doesn't have to be the person you are tomorrow. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, explains that every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. You don't need to believe you're disciplined to act disciplined. Act disciplined enough times, and the identity follows. Stop saying, I am, and start saying, until now, I've been. That tiny phrase creates space for change. Until now, I've been someone who quits when things get hard. Until now, I've been someone who plays small. Until now, I've been someone who lets fear make decisions. Write down 3 limiting I am statements you tell yourself. Now rewrite them as, until now, I've been. Feel that door opening. That's possibility entering your life. The final shift is the most transformative. Stop seeing life as a zero-sum game. Scarcity mindset says, if they win, I lose. There's not enough to go around. I need to protect what's mine. Abundance mindset says, their success doesn't diminish mine. There's enough for everyone. The more I give, the more I receive. Scarcity is a lie your primitive brain tells you. In the modern world, wealth isn't finite. Knowledge isn't limited. Opportunities aren't scarce. Success isn't a pie where someone else's slice makes yours smaller. Seneca taught, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. Start celebrating other people's wins. When someone succeeds in your field, study them instead of resenting them. When someone gets what you want, let it prove it's possible, instead of making you bitter. Abundance isn't about having more. It's about recognizing you already have enough. And from that place of enough, you can build anything. These 7 shifts aren't just ideas. They're keys to unlock the prison you didn't know you were in. The invisible walls that held you back, they're already starting to dissolve. You see them now. And what you see, you can change. The question is, will you? Will you replace I can't with I haven't yet? Will you seek discomfort instead of comfort? Will you set your own standards? Will you focus on process over outcome? Will you take responsibility? Will you rewrite your identity? Will you embrace abundance? These aren't rhetorical questions. Your next action is your answer. Drop a comment below and tell me, which of these 7 shifts hit you the hardest? Which one are you committing to starting today? And if this video lifted the veil on something you needed to see, subscribe for more mindset shifts that will destroy your limits. The veil is lifted. Now it's your move.